Welcome to In the Green Chair, an interview series by Relay Education. In each episode, we sit down with a professional who's working the green economy to learn about their story.
Relay is a Canadian charity that delivers renewable energy and environmental education programs with the goal of creating change for a greener future.
Throughout the series, you'll hear from professionals across a wide range of fields and sectors who all work in what we consider to be a green-collar career. I'm your host, Ade.
And I'm your host, Andrew.
Today's guest in the green chair is Kate Pepler. She's the founder of the Tare Shop, a package-free coffee shop and bulk store in Halifax, Nova Scotia. Welcome to the show, Kate.
Thanks so much for having me.
Thanks for joining us today. So I want to know, when did you become aware of your consumption habits? And can you share your journey to becoming package-free?
I went to Dalhousie. I grew up in Toronto. On Toronto Island, actually. And I came to Dalhousie in 2011 to study environmental sciences, sustainability, and I ended up declaring a minor in marine biology. It was through my degree, it was all very environmental focused, that I became aware of the plastic problem. Probably in 2016 is when I really picked up on the zero waste movement or low waste movement and started reading about package-free stores opening up all over the world. And there weren't too many in Canada at the time. I started thinking about this business idea to open up a package-free store and spent a lot of time doubting myself and thinking, who am I to do this? Didn't go to business school. I don't have a business degree, but eventually through talking to other business owners and friends and family and realizing that a lot of people who own businesses didn't go to business school or didn't have the business background that I assumed that they had, I flipped that to why not me? I was in between jobs. I used to teach sailing seasonally. So in the winters, I was largely unemployed. So yeah, thought why not me, and started writing the business plan.
That's great to hear. So you were inspired by what you had been learning at Dalhousie and were able to kind of take that inspiration and that passion and put it into a business. What actually went into your business plan for that year that you were planning everything? What does it actually take to make a business, to get a business started?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So I ended up getting loans through BDC and Futurepreneur and a family loan for all of your lenders. So anybody who's giving you a loan, you have to be able to justify your sales projections, basically in your cash flow projections, which you have to do for 2 years for most loans that you get. You have to be able to justify and quantify it. So I did some polls through social media asking people what their spending habits were on bulk food and how often they did grocery shopping and that sort of thing. So yeah, you kind of have to pull together all of this information. In Nova Scotia, there's a great program called the Business Navigators that's provincially run, and they'll help you figure out exactly what permits you need and help you get through all of the red tape. I guess the first step would have been to start writing the business plan, and there's a ton of really good templates. So contacting lenders, writing your business plan, cash flow projections. And then I started reaching out to suppliers. I was really fortunate to meet a couple of folks who owned grocery stores or bulk stores, and they were very kind to share a lot of information with me. And then another really hard thing that I'm still learning today is to negotiate. It can be really hard to walk into a bank or talk to somebody on the phone or in person and ask for something that they're not necessarily going to give you. But just being firm and learning to negotiate is still a work in progress for me.
Yeah, you can't expect to be mastered everything from day one. It's still really impressive, everything that you've done just in a short span of, I guess, just over 2 years, right?
We opened the Halifax location October 3rd, 2018, and we actually just opened our second shop January 8th in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia.
Wow, very new. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
What is the importance of package-free consumption in the scale of all of the waste that we create as a society?
I think one of the coolest things about me living a low waste or package-free lifestyle has been to see the ripple impact of my actions on my friends and family. So I had a friend who used to get one Tim Hortons tea every day, and they double cup teas because they're hot. So that was at least 2 cups every single day. They would often get 4 cups of tea or 2 cups of tea a day. So that's 4 paper cups, which are lined with plastic so they don't get recycled. They go in the landfill. After hanging with me and seeing me refusing to get a coffee or tea or drink to go unless I had my own thermos. She just picked up on it. I never once shamed her. I never once scolded her or got mad at her for her choices. But just by noticing what I was doing, she started bringing her own thermos or making her tea at home. People pick up on your actions and get inspired by what they see their friends and family doing. But I also think at most grocery stores, you have no say in the type of packaging that you get, or with our products, we don't really have a say. And it can be really frustrating for people to walk into a store and the only carrots you can buy are in a plastic bag or lettuce is wrapped in plastic. So I think being able to offer folks an option is really important, and an option that is accessible and affordable is also really, really important. By all of us doing slightly better, living with slightly less waste, that will have a much bigger impact than a few people living perfect zero waste lifestyle. So I think it's really important for all of us to be taking what action we can where possible, but then also using that action and taking it one step forward, and reaching out to our businesses and governments and asking for change.
Right. Advocating on top of changing your personal decision.
Exactly. We can all do something, but taking it one step forward and pushing for real systemic change is the next step.
Absolutely. So one of the criticisms of zero waste is like lack of affordability or accessibility. How is the Tare shop making package-free living possible for more people?
I try to keep all of our prices as low as possible. I've been told many times that for example, our spices are too cheap. People will fill up a old spice container, will be under $1, and I'm like, are you sure you charged us right? And I think the zero waste movement, there's a lot of flashy products that you can buy. So you can go out and buy a ton of beautiful jars that all look the same, and you can go buy all of these products that are designed for specific things to help you reduce your waste. But you can also just reuse what you already have. You don't need the newest product to help you reduce your own waste. For example, we let people refill whatever kind of containers they want as long as they're clean and empty. By doing that, people can buy only what they need. So instead of, if they only need a cup of lentils for a recipe, you can come in and just buy that cup. Or we once had somebody come in who was making a pot roast for their kid that they were visiting in university, and they didn't have the right spices, so he came and just bought like a tablespoon of each spice or exactly the recipe. In that way, it can be more affordable. We can't judge people or shame people for their actions, but inspiring people in different ways and offering different options is really important, I think, if that made any sense.
Yeah, it does. And it's a really great method. I've seen that even with my friends, little things that I do. I had some like leftover pajamas and I turned them into like a little tote bag for groceries. But it was so big that I made two with the same fabric. And my friend was always eyeing it. She's like, that's cute. And so for her birthday, I just took one of them and I gave it to her. That's actually a really effective way of changing people's behavior, just leading by example.
Absolutely. Yeah. And a lot of these like zero waste hacks or things that are having like a resurgence, like saving threads and repairing things. Like people used to do that when people were living through wartime. Like everybody was very conservative in their actions. And we've had a lot of customers come in and being like, this is like what we used to do. Like I used to save like every piece of foil and like recycle it properly and save it for something else.
It's not new practices, we're just remembering the older practices. Yeah. So I want to go back to your business. You talk about making everything as affordable as possible and also just working with the customers. I guess there's this misconception that if you're not tripling the prices from the wholesale, if things are not slightly expensive, then a business can't survive. So, can you explain maybe where most of your sales come from? Is it the coffee shop? Is it the bulk store?
Most of our revenues do come from our bulk products. Most of our lifestyle products, or all of our lifestyle products, you're given your retail price. So for a lot of the lifestyle products, we don't have a choice in how much we're selling them for. For the bulk products, they don't give you the suggested retail price. So I look at other comparable products at other bulk stores and try to use that to help guesstimate where we should price products. And we're in the process of becoming a B Corp, which is a benefit corporation. It's all about pulling into all of these factors to create an ethical, fair business model that supports your whole community and not just your shareholders.
It's great to hear that you want to, that you have the B Corp in mind. It's gained a lot of traction over the past few years.
We started a 1% forward program last year. So I was inspired by 1% for the planet. So for 1% of the planet, you choose a different organization, environmental organization. But I wanted to directly impact the communities that our businesses are in. So each quarter, I get my staff to help me choose and we vote. And it doesn't have to be a registered charity. It can be a GoFundMe campaign. It can be mutual aid. So last quarter, we contributed to the Two Spirit Queer Trans BIPOC Healing Fund. I've also just started, I wanted to have a more meaningful impact than just writing a check. This quarter, we're going to be trying to work with each of the groups that we are supporting and offer up our platform. We have a pretty large social media following, so offer up our platform to, if they wanted to do Instagram takeover for the day or share any information that they want to, and just try to make it more meaningful and lasting connections than just a donation at the end of the quarter.
That's great to hear as well. Not just running a business to make a profit, but to be part of the community, be a positive impact on the community that you're serving as well. I wanted to ask how the local community has taken to your business, and I'm going to assume it's going pretty well considering you do have that second shop that just opened.
Yeah, I've been blown away by the support that we've gotten for the stores. Everybody's been so kind and helpful and really excited, which is great.
Also, just thank you for being so transparent with the business model of the Tare shop, because I remember when I was looking at it, I was like, a year after you graduated, you were able to get a brick and mortar. Like, that's amazing. And you're expanding and things are going really well, but you're still able to make things affordable. And I think that people need to see that that is possible.
Like, my perception of businesses and business owners, it's completely changed after doing this. And I think that the local businesses that are giving back and are trying really hard and keeping things affordable are going to be the ones that people that stick around. And I think that price gouging is really unfair. If you had asked me like 4 or 5 years ago, I never thought I'd be running a business and employ 9 people. But here we are, and I'm really grateful for the people who have supported me and taken the leap of faith with me.
As a young business owner, what have your first years been like balancing work and personal life? And you're still, realize that you're still in your first years because you opened in 2018. How does that work for you?
I think at the beginning, I was terrified, or I know at the beginning when we first opened, I was terrified to leave the business. I couldn't go away for a day. I worked 7 or 6 days for the first year and burned out very quickly. So I think that was a really important wake-up call, that I can't do it all. I have to trust the people that I've hired, ensuring that I'm taking time for me, because if I burn myself out and can't work or get hurt or get too sick, the business can't run and I won't be able to employ the staff and provide groceries for the community. So recognizing that if I'm not around, then it's no good for anybody.
That's a really important practice for people to learn. University culture is all about pulling all-nighters and not eating the most balanced meals and snacks, and you can't speed through life like that. You can survive it for those 4 years or those 3 years or 2 years, but it's not a sustainable way to like live and balance work and life.
I'm wondering about a few of the products that you sell at the Tare shop. What are maybe some innovative package-free options that exist out there that are not yet mainstream?
I was really, really, really skeptical of the laundry strips. Have you heard of those?
Yeah, you get like a little container of them and you just throw the strip in each wash, right?
I think I've seen them in my like Instagram ads for at least a year, but we just started carrying them. So I tried it out and it's actually really, really great. Very convenient. One of the things that we carry is called, the company is called Bear Wax, and it's a natural surf wax. So there's a big surfing community out here in Nova Scotia. And most surf wax is made from petroleum-based products, which folks don't realize. So you scrape off the wax or the wax falls off in the ocean, and it's all petroleum, where the surf wax is made from all natural waxes. So that's also a really, really cool product that I'm proud we carry.
Any advice or first step you could share with people who want to start living more of a package-free life?
Yeah, I think that we're so disconnected from our waste. You don't think about where it goes, where it ends up. So by starting a trash jar, it's a really good tool to start. So by you're using a trash jar or bowl or even just record what you're throwing out is a way to see the type of garbage that you are creating or waste you're creating. And then you can go from there and say, okay, it's realistic for me. I just threw out my old toothbrush. I can go buy a bamboo toothbrush, or I threw out 20 disposable coffee cups. I'm gonna make my coffee at home this week. Building habits takes a long time and it can't be done overnight. So just keep trying and you can do it.
That's great advice.
I was reading about the accessibility of the Tare shop, and you've taken a lot of consideration into making the physical space and social media accessible. And I've never heard of Camelcase until now, nor did I think about the lights and the sounds of a shop when you walk into it. Can you speak more on these practices?
One of my former staff members really spearheaded that. Her and I had a lot of conversations about this space and accessibility. It's so important, and the sustainability conversation, the environmental conversation, business conversations really need to include everybody, not just able-bodied folk.
Could you just talk about Camelcase? Because I think it's really, really cool. And it's just a switch that people can make right now on their social media.
Using Camelcase is so easy. So Camelcase is when you capitalize. So if you have the hashtag the Tare shop, instead of all the letters being lowercase, you capitalize the first letter in each word, and that's so that screen readers can actually read that it's 3 different words instead of just a jumble of letters. So that's one really easy way that folks can make their social media more accessible, is by using Camelcase. Also image descriptions. So at the bottom, before the hashtags, we include image descriptions. We just describe what's in the picture or video. Again, so folks who use screen readers are included in using social media.
You mentioned what it takes to kind of get a business off the ground, and especially in that first year of planning everything. But do you have any other advice for young people who are interested in starting their own business?
One advice that I got that I really stand by is talking to other people. So offer to take somebody out for coffee, or reach out to your favorite businesses and ask them questions. They might not answer because they might not have time, but don't take that personally. A lot of people just want to start their own business because they want to be their own boss, and being your own boss is great, but there's also a lot of responsibility that comes with that. Be passionate about what you're doing. And give it your all.
It sounds like you've had a great network of people around you.
Absolutely, yeah. Nobody gets where they are by themselves, and I'm so grateful for the support that I've received from folks.
Do you have any books you've read recently that you've really enjoyed, whether it's waste-free or otherwise?
I just started reading All We Can Save. It's a collection of essays and poems from women at the forefront of the climate movement, just women sharing their stories and their inspirations who are on the forefront of this movement.
Thank you, Kate, for joining us today in the Green Chair and teaching us about package-free living and just being more conscious of our consumption. Where can we find you online?
Our website is thetareshop.com. We do ship worldwide, so even if you're not in Halifax, you can shop online. And our Instagram is @thetareshop.
We hope you enjoyed learning about the different paths people take to working in the green economy.
Follow us on social media @Relay Education and check out our website relayeducation.com to learn more.